I am coming to you from Sedona Margot Retreat Center, which is really, truly one of my favorite places on planet Earth. And I come here a few times every year. And I also host retreats here. I have hosted retreats here several times during the lifetime of my business. And in fact, there's actually one that is coming up in spring of 2026. And some of you have already registered for it, even though you do not even know the date for the retreats yet. So just so you know, that is coming up. That's coming up. Okay, so with that said, I couldn't think of a better place, a better spot to talk about today's topic than here and right now under this juniper tree. Right? So the topic is this. It's been happening more and more actually, especially as like online entrepreneurship becomes kind of like a norm for many, where many have created, like many entrepreneurs have created a lot of growth, like income growth, a lot of impact growth, right? Doing work that even they enjoy doing. But then at a certain point, whatever it is that they felt like they were chasing, that will create the fulfillment for them. Even though they've created the money and even though they've created the impact, like at a certain point, it's start feeling like something is missing. Like they don't feel it's like they don't feel that fulfillment and they don't feel that joy, and they feel like, oh my God, like, and even like to a certain point, sometimes when I talk to some humans who are going through this, to a certain point, it feels like this is what I thought was going to bring me the joy. This is what I thought was going to bring me the fulfillment. If that's not it, then I don't know what it is. And there's a little bit of kind of like despair there sometimes, right? It can even spiral down into other things, right? So in this video, I want to share my perspective around that. And when I'm saying that, a lot of the times on the flip side, a lot of spirituality minded entrepreneurs or spiritually minded humans then utilize that as an excuse not to really pay attention to the physical, to the money, to the material and stuff like that. That's not what we're doing here, okay? So what we're doing here is, like, I'm actually going to go a little bit spiritual. I'm just going to share my perspective around this and what has really like kept me or continues to keep me fulfilled in my work, in the way that I show up, right? So when I say we're going like deep in spirituality, I'm going to really go deep in spirituality, which means that for me, from my perspective, there are two parts to us. Like as human beings, there is this physical part of who we are, and then there is another part of who we are. Like there's a lot of noise here, by the way. I hope that will be okay in the video. There is the physical, like we have a few dimensions within us, right? There is the physical dimension, which is composed of, you can name it, our body, our physical body, even our businesses, and like the joys of life, the food that we eat, and the money that we make, and the travels that we have, and all the juiciness of life, right? There's that part of who we are. And then, which is physical, right? And so if we're going deep into spirituality, from my studies, that physical part of you is very, very, it's like there's a deadline, there's an expiration date. Like no matter what we do, there's an expiration date to that part of who we are, right? Which means that eventually, no matter what we do, this part actually belongs to Earth. Right, this physical part of who we are, our body belongs to Earth, right? Which means that there is like within us, like we are children. This is what I'm saying. Like this is literally like spirituality for me. We are children of Earth and heaven. right? So whatever heaven means to you, right? For me, heaven means that invisible part of me, that source part of me within me, right? And soul for me belongs to, it's like the heaven part, right? The heaven part of me, right? So like if we are children of heaven and earth, right? If we are, like, we have two dimensions within us at the very least, right? We're not going to go beyond that. At the very least, we have heaven's dimension within us, and then we have earth dimension within us, right? What that really means is that when we pass away, like when our expiration date comes, like in this physical realm, when our expiration date comes, like our physical body, right, no matter what we do with it, whether we do cremation, whether we bury the body, no matter what we do with it, at the end of the day, it actually becomes nothing. It just becomes earth. It just becomes dirt. It goes back to what? To the earth, right? It literally becomes, like, I actually didn't know this before. Like, I always thought about, okay, when somebody dies, the body, the flesh starts to, to go away, and then the bones, even the bones eventually, it just becomes, right? This video has turned into something else, but we are doing this, right? So eventually this physical body becomes just earth. It becomes just nothing. It goes back to earth, right? But then there's this other part of us, like the heaven part of us. Like, what happens to it? That is the question, right? The heaven part of that dimension, right? Like, for me, my belief in that is that it's always been, it's never not been, right? So what happens is that when we are on this physical, like, we are these human beings in this physical, like, realm, right? And then we forget the other dimension that we are. Yes, we pay attention to our physicality. We pay attention to making sure that we wear the nice clothes, which I don't have anything against, just FYI, right? Like, we make sure that we feed our physical body food every day. We make sure that we really take care of our physicality, right? And a lot of the times we forget about the other dimension of who we are, right? And I feel like a lot of the times it's not that like all the physical part of who we are, or bad things, or like whatever it is, that story we can make around it. But like, if we forget the other dimension of who we are, it's almost like it's always like kind of crying for us to pay attention to it, right? And it actually is very sad when we forget that part of who we are, right? The physicality part eventually, like at the beginning, can be a little bit fulfilling. It can make us happy a little bit, right? It can make us like, oh my God, like, we can buy all the cars we want, we can buy all the jewelry we want, we can buy all these things. Again, I have nothing against that. It's just that sometimes we forget, right? From my perspective, how I look at it now is our physicality is meant to support the heaven part of who we are. But then when we forget and when we disconnect from that is when, in my humble opinion, it becomes very, very problematic, right? And a lot of the times we keep chasing everything in the physicality, thinking that that is the thing that is going to fulfill us. That is the thing, right? We believe that's the thing, right? Again, for me, how I look at it now is that everything in the physicality in my physical is meant for me to really support the heaven part of who I am. Is really meant to help. I'm always talking about, like, grow my soul, and it's meant for me to grow my consciousness and grow my soul, right? And the more I remember that, then the focus is different always, right? And sometimes I forget, and that's okay. But the point here is, for me, how I've looked at it is, the more, like, and again, like, when we talk about that, like, the heaven part of inside of me, my soul, the soul part of inside of me, how do I pay attention to it? For me, it always comes down to energy, right? It always comes down to energy. Like, I actually know, like, now I'm so familiar with how energy works in my body, that I know that there is a certain, it depends on even, like, how, like, energy is distributed, like the distribution of energy in your body, how it's distributed, or like how, like, what is the condition inside of your body, can determine whether or not you are more prone to really feel connected to that part of who you are, or feel disconnected from that part of who you are. So for me, as much as I pay attention to my clothing, and as much as I pay attention to my business, and as much as I pay attention to money and food in my life, it really became important that even every day, as much as possible, I pay attention to that part, the soul part of who I am, the heaven within me, right? And so I feel like that's why, even like in my space, and in my programs, and even in Univry, for example, I feel like that's what makes it feel complete for many of the members, and I feel like that's what makes many of the members stay more than one round, more than 2 rounds, more than 3 rounds, more like I can't even tell you, right? Like recently, I remember when I was, and I felt so moved by this. I was on travel for a couple of weeks, and like I wasn't really paying too much attention to business at that time. And one of the members who is she teaches, right? She helps her clients write best-selling books in the businesses, or just writes best-selling books. And this was going to be her 3rd round in Unity. And I was away when one morning, like I opened my email, and I saw an email from her. And the email from her said something like, shouldn't I have received the link to renew my Unity membership by now? What I realized is that her membership was going to expire within a couple of days after her email had landed in my inbox. The reason why I felt so moved by that email actually was because, first of all, I'm very impressed by the fact that she knew exactly like the date of like when her membership in Unity was going to expire. And the other thing is, like, for her, it was no question. There was not even going to be a discussion about it. It wasn't like it was already set that she was renewing, right? And I sent her the link, and she renewed, and this is her 3rd round in Unity. And the reason why I feel like many members feel like that is because we address both the physical and the physical realm, and also the heaven realm, or the soul's realm, in that space, in our space, right? What that means is that, yes, we pay attention to making money in our businesses, but at the same time, we pay attention as well to soul's growth and that connection to that power of who we are. And for me, it means everything, right? That is a foundation on which I created even my business to begin with, because I came to realize, number one, that one of the most important things to me in my life is that part, right? That part which is my soul's growth, my soul's evolution. Because it became like I started having this sense, like very, very, very deeply within, like to my core, knowing that there's this part of me that was never not, and that will never not be. Even when I die, it will continue to be. And I better not forget to pay attention to that part. And paying attention to that part really means giving that part energy, right? Because that part of who I am, that part of who we are, is simply energy. The language that it speaks is energy, right? And that's why I'm so passionate about this whole work of energy, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose is, yes, you gain the power to even create, right? Like literally, it's like utilizing the power of your soul for creation and for manifestation in your life, in your business, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's it's like that's the foundation, right? Just as that's the foundation, right? Not just to be utilizing all these theories for, anyways. I digress, right? And so in this video today, what I wanted us to do is to feel that dimension, really, to recognize and to honor that dimension of who we are. It's not going to be the typical Sunday energy meditation. And this is also, by the way, the reason why on Sundays I put out these videos, because at the very least, right, even though like even in these videos, usually we do meditation where we move energy towards our goals and vision. But before we do that, the number one thing that happens is that it gets you really connecting to that part of who you are. That's why, like, sometimes many people email me or message me and say, oh my God, I don't know what happened. I was doing that practice, I was doing that exercise, and I just started tearing up, right? That's because many people feel so disconnected from that part. And then the moment they start feeling it, it's almost like they remember something. And like sometimes it's just resistance that falls away, and then it's like something opens up, right? For them, and then, you know, they start tearing up. I tear up all the time. When I feel my soul, when I feel the energy of my soul, like I get so moved. I get so moved. I feel so loved. I feel so appreciated. I feel so much joy. There's always this joy inside of me, you know? There's always, even when I'm sad, that's the weirdest thing, right? That's the weirdest thing is for me is that even when I'm sad, even when I remember, even like one of the most painful things that's ever happened in my life is when I lost my dad, when my dad passed away, right? Of course it was a sad moment. Of course I was crying. But I remember in that moment, and it was so surreal, that even though there was that sadness, even though there was that sorrow, there was a part of me, there's this light inside of me, this fire inside of me where I can actually be sad and have sorrow and have all these things, but there's that joy underneath it, right? And that only, in my opinion, that only exists when it's like when, you know, that part of you is awake, right? When that dimension, when we have access to that dimension, and how we really have access to that dimension more and more profoundly is it's like everything. It's we train ourselves, right? It's we pay attention to it. We give energy to that part, right? We you know, it's like we, you know, like what you feed, we feed it, right? Just like we feed our physical body, we must feed that part of who we are, right? It's like that tale of the two wolves, right? Like within us, you can have two wolves, right? Within us, we have our ego, we have our true self, you can call that, right? Or our divine self, or our soul, whatever you want to call it. Within us, all of us have that. All of us have that. Like it's, for me, it's not even a matter of denying that my ego exists. But what I've really come to see and experience for myself is that the more I grow the power of my soul, the more I actually can look at my ego and be like, it's okay, you're fine. You know, my ego can be acting up like, it's okay, I accept you, you're part of who I am, and it's fine. But the more I feed the soul part of who I am, the more, first of all, acceptance I have for myself as well, right? And again, it's not like I'm sitting here and be like, hey, Tehesa is enlightened and she knows everything and stuff like that. No, for me, it really is a journey. It has been a journey of growth, and I can definitely sit here and tell you how much growth has happened for me ever since I've been doing that, right? And it's not just about meditating and, you know, and all of that. Yes, like there's that part, but there's also the part which is why I love, right? I love this work so much, because there's the part of really to create true growth. True growth happens through action towards your vision, right? That's my perspective, right? It's not just like heaven is going to do it for me. No, it's not heaven is going to do it for you. You do it, and then heaven will follow, right? Like in French, there's this expression that says "Aide-toi, le ciel t'aidera," which means really help yourself, heaven will help you, right? Help yourself, and heaven will help you. And to me, that really starts with, like I sing this song all the time. That really starts with you having a dream in your heart. That really starts with you having a vision. That really matters to you, right? And from my perspective as well, for me, like for the longest time, I didn't know what that vision was until I really woke up, like that connection to my heart, to that soul part of who I am. And otherwise it was like other people's vision for me, other people's intention for me, other people's, it's like what I felt like I should be doing, right? And I feel like that's what the problem is in our space, in our world today, is like when we're chasing all these things, and it feels like that's what I should be doing, right? That's what I should be doing. Rather than really feeling that connection deep inside, right, with our heart and our souls, and feeling like, oh, this is what truly, truly, truly matters to me, and then taking action towards that. And for me, what I've done is, like, number one, really noticing and realizing what is so, so important to me first. And then in addition to that, how can I make all my physical life desires, right, physical life desires align with that? How can I utilize all my physical life desires to actually serve what my heart and my soul truly want, right? That includes money, that even includes, for me, that even includes my business, that includes my relationships, that includes like even my relationship with my loved ones, my spouse, my children, my mother, like everything can play a role in that if we are intentional about it, right? So with that said, it's going to be quick meditation today. We're going to activate our energy as usual, like make a fist and then tap your lower belly and move your head side to side. Relax, relax. Relax, relax, relax. Your lower abdomen, continue tapping your lower abdomen, tap your lower abdomen, tap your lower abdomen. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now tap your chest with your fingertips, tap your chest. Tap your chest, tap your chest, tap your chest. Open your chest, open your chest, tap your chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Tap your chest. Now tap your fingertips. Tap your fingertips. Slowly stop and make space between your hands. Feel the space between your hands. You may feel tingling, warm, magnetic, or you may feel nothing. It's okay too. Now, open your hands. Bit wider than the first time. And close. Open. A little bit wider again. And close. intensity is continuing to increase. Your mind is quieting down. And then open widely. And close. Now bring your hands facing your chest. And this time feel the space between your fingertips, your palms, and your chest. And then from here, as you feel the energy exchange, first bring your hands a little bit closer without touching. And then open out. Bring closer. And out. In and out. That energy expands bigger and bigger. And then stay here, continue to feel the exchange. And then here, you can either call your own name or you can say my soul, my soul, my soul. Or you can call your own name until you feel a response from yourself. You feel it energetically. And then in this space you say, I honor you, my soul. I honor your presence in my life, my divine self. Thank you for your presence in my life. I'm sorry I sometimes have ignored you. Please forgive me for that. I feel so grateful for your presence in my life. I love you. I choose to love you. I recognize you. Thank you. And slowly return. And now, gently massage your body and say thank you to your body as well. Thank you to the physical part of who you are. I honor you. I recognize you. I thank you. The physical dimension. You can hug yourself, massage yourself, give yourself some love. And slowly. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I made it a little bit short, but tell me in the comments if you felt it. What did you feel? What came up for you? What was your experience? Doing this very short practice here today. My work is really centered around that. It's centered around you, first of all, awakening the power that we have inside of us, utilizing the power of our soul, really, and utilizing awakening, and then utilizing for intentional creation in our lives, in our businesses, for the purpose of our soul's growth, for that purpose, right? That's how I see it, right? So on that note, before I left for Sedona, left for here, I did this really epic masterclass, which was called Calibration. The replay will be available for a limited amount of time. By the time you see this video, you can check the description to see if it's still, if it's still available. If the page is still available, that means that you can still have access to the replay. You can sign up and watch it, right? I'm receiving feedback about that calibration. It's masterclass. It's insane. It's really good. It's really like it was such an honor for me to host masterclass. It's all about really like the things that I really discovered or that I have calibrated to when it comes to, first of all, increasing my prices and like how I really changed from speaking of soul's growth, because that's what happens, being the shy little immigrant who was really so I had so much like I was like so shy about my English as second language, the person who didn't believe that the people would pay her $300 for her services. How I really went from that to now having 20K plus clients in my business. It's like when I think about it now, it's not what I thought that it would be. Like